Bonjour, Bienvenue. I'm Marc Sievers and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm really excited to be partnering with Alliance Française. They are a global organization that teaches French as a second language and all things French culture. They also happen to be just a few blocks away from me. They've asked me to help them celebrate Bastille Day, which is France's national holiday. So if you're like me, when I think of French culture, the first thing I think of is French flavors. And it turns out French flavors at home can be as simple as a trip to your local grocery store. So today, I'm gonna make for you my beautiful berry trifle. If you're not sure what a trifle is layers of pound cake and berries and preserves and maybe some whipped cream, and it's layered up tall, and it's a wonderful summer treat. But I don't really feel like making pound cake in the heat. So I've relied on my local bakery for just a plain, delicious vanilla pound cake. Now, if you do want to make your own pound cake, I'll put my recipe for my lemon pound cake right here for you. But I promise you, a trip to your local grocery store or your local bakery is all you need for my summer trifle. So once you get your pound cake home, I've cut mine into about a 1/2 inch thick slices. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start layering in some delicious French flavor. So I find whenever I make trifles like this, I like to line my board with a piece of parchment paper. That also helps to make sure that there are no kind of onion flavors that might be locked into your board, transferred into your pound cake. Trust me, it's happened before. So if we just took regular pound cake and started layering, it's a bit boring, and I think we can do much better than that. And I promised you French flavors and flair. So I'm gonna use a delicious raspberry liqueur. It's called framboise. It's readily available in grocery stores that might have an alcohol aisle or at your local spirit store. And what I'm doing is, as soon as you open that cap, it just smells so good. It has a beautiful raspberry essence, and you use this framboise in a lot of different French cooking and cocktails. But for this trifle, it's gonna be absolutely amazing and give it a little boozy kick. So whenever I'm using liqueur, I love to put a little twist here and pour it into a small plastic bottle with a little nozzle. And what I find when I do this is it's a little bit cleaner and a little bit easier than drizzling it over the pound cake. Here, I can just squirt it right onto the pound cake. And this makes it nice and clean. I'm getting it evenly soaked, and it smells delicious. So this is about 1/3 cup. But don't worry, you can go to marcsievers.com for all the measurements for this delicious trifle. So really soak this pound cake. It might seem like a little too much liqueur, but it really does make all the difference in your finished dessert. It smells so good, I just love it. So that's the first step of adding a little French flavor. The second step is French preserves. So in most grocery stores around the country, there is a whole shelving unit filled with different flavored preserves. This one happens to be Bon Maman. This is a brand that I use on the daily basis when Ryan in the morning for his toast, and when I need a little preserves for maybe a cheese board or another dessert. I love this brand because they are actually in Paris and also stateside. So it's really a quick and easy French find. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna use this entire jar, it's about 13 ounces, and I'm just gonna evenly coat all the pound cake slices, I should say. 4 down, a few more to go. I wasn't too terribly careful or trying to be terribly neat about this. I used almost this entire jar. And I'm using raspberry, but you can use raspberry or strawberry, whichever you prefer. They both taste really delicious. So that's the pound cake. Now I promised you layers of pound cake with berries. So what I have in this fabulous bowl, and it's been sitting for about 20 minutes, is I have 6 ounces of blackberries and 6 ounces of raspberries. And all I've done is just taken a dinner fork and just lightly crush them and just kind of let them sit for 10-15 minutes. And what that does is kind of allows them to extract their juices a little bit and make it really, really delicious. And this is gonna be perfect to add on top of the pound cakes. So I have framboise, some preserves, beautiful kind of a berry puree, we'll call it. But now I want the texture of gorgeous summer berries. So in come the next set of berries. And here I have another handful of strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries. So I'm just gonna add all of those in. And if you've never seen how to hull a strawberry, let me give you a little close-up here. So this is a beautiful strawberry I got at my local farmer's market. And what I'm doing is taking a knife, nice sharp knife, and I'm running the tip of the blade at a little bit of a diagonal right around that green stem. And what you're doing is you're hulling out the strawberry. And that basically, when you go at an angle, it kind of comes out in a little triangle. And that takes the core of the berry and the little stem right up. And then I'm just gonna give this a quick little dice. Strawberries, I have about 3/4 inch dice. But trust me, this is not the time to get out a ruler. If there are 1/2 inch dice, it's totally fine. So now let's give all of these berries a beautiful toss. Look at that. And then we're gonna add a little bit more framboise, about 1/4 cup. So I love these little handy dandy wet cup measures. I find them online and they go up to about 1/2 cup, but they have ounces and tablespoons and teaspoons, and I find them really useful, especially making desserts or cocktails. So now I'm just gonna give this a stir. Oh, this smells incredible. And a little boozy, which you know I like. So now it's time to move on to the cream part. So of course you can use plain whipped cream, but that's not very French. So what I like to do is use, again from Bon Maman, another 13-ounce container of lemon curd. So it turns out when you have 1/4 of heavy cream, this is ice cold heavy cream, and I'm putting it into the bowl of my electric mixer that's fitted with a whisk attachment. As you can see, pour it right in. Perfect. Now some salt and some sugar and some lemon zest. So this is about, let me take off this whisk, that'll make it a little easier. This is about the zest of 1 large lemon. So even though we're using lemon curd, adding some fresh lemon zest is gonna kind of help that lemon essence really shine through. And like always, I'm zesting my citrus right over the bowl because all of those essential oils we want to get into the whipped cream versus onto the cutting board. Whoops, slippery little thing. There, that's about, yep, 1 more little section. Et voila. So, put my whisk attachment back on. Now, if I was to all of a sudden turn this on to full speed, I would be covered in whipped cream, my ceiling would be covered in cream, and you might even feel it at home. So what I like to do is take a clean kitchen towel and put it over the mixer, and then gradually raise the speed. So this is the stir mode. And I'm just gonna gradually raise the speed. Tuck that behind the head a little bit there. You can hear it's very wet, of course. So here we go. turning it on high, and watch it really carefully. It takes about 30 seconds before it goes from beautiful, soft, peaked whipped cream to butter. Here we go. Let's see. So I want this really soft and velvety and luxurious. Ooh, look at that mess. I told you it's a messy job. Oh, but look at how beautiful this whipped cream is. It's nice, perfectly soft. Let's taste it too. Mmm. Delicious. So, in order to make that lemon curd whipped cream, I'm going to add the lemon curd. However, if I added all of the lemon curd directly into all of the whipped cream, it would deflate the whipped cream, so we don't want that. So what I want to do is take a little bit of the heavy cream, or the whipped cream, I should say, and put it into a bowl. See how soft and luxurious this is? This is the best way to make whipped cream at home. And then I'm going to pour the jar of lemon curd directly into this little bowl, and then stir this up. And what this is going to help do is kind of lighten the lemon curd a little bit. That's perfect. And then come over here and add our little bit of cream here with the lemon curd right into the center. Oh, it smells so good. I love making this trifle. I've made versions of this trifle for years, but this one, I have to say, might be my new favorite. And it's definitely Ryan's favorite. While I've been recipe testing this, he has been readily available to come into the kitchen. All of a sudden, those long conference calls are now 20 minutes. So I'm just kind of folding it in, just making sure I don't deflate the whipped cream and keep this nice and light and airy. Let's give it a little taste. Oh. You get the richness from the lemon curd, the richness from the heavy cream, but the lightness and texture. It's really delicious. So I'm gonna clean up and then we'll start to assemble. All right, I'm all cleaned up and now it's time to assemble the trifle. So first I'm gonna take a generous dollop or a very large scoop of this gorgeous lemon curd whipped cream and coat the base of I'm using a trifle dish, but you can use a glass bowl. You want to use something clear because the layers of this are beautiful. And you know what I love so much about trifles is that they don't have to be perfect. So yes, the layers we want even, but a trifle is this really earthy, beautiful thing that even if there's a little artistic leeway, it still looks beautiful. So, all right, we've got gorgeous lemon cream. Now, pound cake. So I have my pieces of framboise soaked pound cake with preserves, and I'm just layering it in, trying to get them as close together as possible. And if there's any spots open, you want to cut a piece, and fill those gaps because we want every bite to have delicious framboise soaked pound cake. And don't be afraid if the side of the trifle dish gets a little messy. No one's gonna notice, I promise you. This little piece of pound cake fell apart. Maybe I should eat it. No, I should put it in the trifle. So now we need some berries. Beautiful, look at these gorgeous berries that have been soaking, the whole berries, the berry puree, and then all of that delicious framboise. So now take a nice big scoop. Whoa. And this might seem like a lot of liquid, but what's really interesting about this is that pound cake really does soak up all of the juices and all of the flavor. There's nothing worse than a dry trifle. So I promise you, this one is not. That looks pretty good. And now we layer the rest. See all the layers, how gorgeous they are? And then we need our last layer of cream. And notice I'm not using any piping bags or any fancy equipment. I'm just using a spatula. If you wanted to get fancy, you could do piping, but I'd rather spend less time in the kitchen this summer and more time at the beach. So now it's about getting all this beautiful whipped cream infused with that lemon curd evenly across the top. The only thing I'm being really careful is I want to keep the cream and that berry puree underneath from surfacing to the top. I want to make sure that the top of this stays nice and clean, if that makes sense, with no streaks of berries. So that's pretty spectacular as it is. And you could certainly stop here and maybe decorate it with just a couple little berries for a garnish. Or you can make it really show-stopping and over the top, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna clean up and then we'll finish our trifle. So now I'm gonna decorate the top just like a French flag. So what I love about this trifle is it really does embody just French gorgeous flavors, and now we're gonna give it a little bit of iconic kind of pizzazz with a French flag right on top. So what I like to do is kind of divide the top in thirds, just with my eyeballs. It doesn't have to be too exact. And start with some blueberries, make a single line, and then from that line, fill in one side. I'll do the blueberries, then I'll do the raspberries. And the last one. So, my gorgeous French flag. So of course, you could stop here, but I have one more little surprise. So if you've been to Paris, you know that you can buy Eiffel Tower statues all over the city in gift shops, in grocery stores, in little souvenir shops. So I thought, why not put an Eiffel Tower right on the top? And in honor of Bastille Day, they always do amazing fireworks from the Eiffel Tower. So I have these gorgeous little firework picks that I think add just the right amount of festive touches. I mean, this is really fabulous. I hope you liked this video and subscribe to my channel. Give the video a thumbs up, and remember, head over to marcsievers.com for the full written recipe. And I'll also link right here, Alliance Française Chicago, so you can learn more about all of their wonderful programs. And until next time, happy Bastille Day! So now, there's a good bottle of champagne in the fridge, and I think I need 2 bowls, 2 spoons, and Ryan. Bye, guys. This recipe and more can be found on my website, marcsievers.com. Thanks for watching.